What's up, everybody? Let's get chat. What's up, everybody? We are live. We are live, chat. We're live. What's up, Kevin? Kevin, it's been a while, bro. It's been a while. Haven't seen you, bro. Haven't seen you. I don't know what's up with your life, bro. How's it been? How'd you get banned, Henry? How did you get banned? How in the world did you get banned? Is it real? What? How? How? All right. I don't know how you get banned from live streaming, but what's up, Duck Official? Welcome to the stream, dude. You got a new iPhone, Sam? I'm jealous, bro. I'm jealous. What's up, random Texan guy? Welcome to the stream, bro. I'm jealous of you, Sam. You got a new phone. That's sick, bro. That's absolutely sick. Nah, I absolutely understand that, bro. Good on you, man. Good on you. Good on you, bro. Yeah, but this stream I was just wanting to go over some of the previous tornado outbreaks this year and kind of just give my opinion on everything. But you know, it's been pretty far a very active year, like a pretty uh, pretty active year. What's up, Gooseman? Welcome to the stream, dude. You were playing Roblox. Oh, you got an iPhone 13, dude. I have an iPhone 16. Not to brag, chat, but I have the newest one. I think it's the newest one. I don't really know. But I was wanting to start with the wait, yeah, the tornado outbreak of March 13th through 16th, 2025. We know all about this. Same Henry, I made an outside vid and got banned for 2 weeks. Dang, I'm sorry about that, Duck Official. Sorry about that, guys. Davis commented on my video a few days ago. The comments are deleted, but we kind of had a discussion stuff about what he found wrong about me. I did disagree on points, but he was right on a good bit. What happened? Okay. Kevin, explain to me what happened and be completely honest, or you can join the Discord and then you can private message me about it because I need to know about this. Like this is interesting. You don't have to tell me. It's just I want to know. You know what happened? What happened? You're jealous now. Don't be. Don't be. Don't be jealous. Okay, but anyways, this tornado outbreak was very significant. By the way, probably one of the more significant severe weather outbreaks I've ever seen or have been part of. Um, part of being, I got to cover it and got to, see what was happening. But make sure to make me a mod. I got you. Got you. Got an iPhone 15. W. You got to go. You'll be back in 30 minutes. All right, see you later. But chat, big news at 7 p.m. tonight. I'm going to a storm spotter training. Big boy here is going to become a storm spotter. Let's do it. This is going to be fun, chat. But anyways, yeah, I was wanting to go on. Um, I was just wanting to go over the outbreak of March 13th through 16th. Go on damage assessment toolkit. Look at some of the DIs. Give my own opinion on some of the DIs, and go on Google Earth imagery and see what was there before it got destroyed. And basically, just talk about this significant tornado outbreak that happened because this was a very dangerous event that happened. But yeah, we can talk about this for sure. Basically, I asked to get banned on his channel a bit ago. We've recently been building to this point where I've called him out for overhyping, and he had a back and forth, commented on my video. Dang. But to be fair, why do you say overhyping? Like, why is he overhyping? Like, in what way or shape or form is he overhyping? W Roman, thank you, random Texan guy. I really appreciate that. Can you what? Can you what, Henry? Oh, you mean can you get mod? Um, random Texan guy has been a part of the channel for quite a while. Henry, if you stick around quite a little longer, I can start to develop some more trust with you. But And then I'll start to consider making you mod. But yeah, sarcastically, I sure overhyped the hell out of. I had a back and forth, but I did ask him to be honest and serious. He got back with 2 comments that explained some good rights, but also some wrongs. I did see that. No, I was just wanting to go over this by myself right now because honestly, I was just wanting to give my own opinion on some of this stuff, you know. Um, but yeah, so the tornado outbreak of March 13th through 16th, very significant. I guess we can just hop straight into this. This was the risk for March 14th. Wait, I can go on. Actually, another thing I wanted to go on, chat, is Radar Omega, because you can actually access historical imagery on Radar Omega, I believe. I don't know how far back you can go, but let's see. Okay, we want to go to March 13th through March. We'll just go March 17th. That'll be good. But yeah, this is the this is a lot. What's up, Price a lot? Welcome to the stream, Price a lot. How are you doing tonight? Also for mod Discord after you're done with that. All right, got you. And he did mention a very good point that in my mind it may not seem like that, but it comes out like that on the surface. Oh yeah, I'm still convinced that Bakersfield is still not an EF4. Well, I'll get into that in a little bit, but let's hop into the first intense tornado of the outbreak. That being the well, here's the actual SVC outlook for March 14th, the Pi Day outbreak. This ended up being the most significant day of the outbreak out of those 2 days. A very large moderate risk. This honestly should have been. I mean, no, I'm not gonna say that. I don't think it should have been high risk, but I mean, we saw a lot of intense tornadoes and violent tornadoes down here in northern Arkansas and southeast Missouri that probably should have warranted a little bit of an expansion of the moderate back to the west, I think. But I'm here to give my opinion on everything, Chad. If you guys don't like it, it's fine. And then this was the actual outlook for March 15th. This was a day 2 high risk. This ended up being a day 2 high risk, but this is the day 1 convective outlook. Big high risk. I remember everybody was freaking out about this. There was an analog on the soundings from April 27th, 2011, so it was big time. But yeah, I'm glad your day's going good, Price a lot. Said I act like I know it all for the past 9 months, indicating that after some sort of certain point, my persona became a bit more shifted today. Yeah, maybe I might play Twisted today. Probably. Diaz Arkansas should have been an EF5. Okay, hold on. I have my issues with that because I'll get into that in a little bit. Chat, do we need to tell him random? Nah, hold on. I'll get into that in a little bit. I really do not intend to seem like an a-hole in any way when answering or also sharing opinions on stuff. No, in my chat, you're allowed to share your opinions on everything. Like I will argue with you. I will argue fairly with you, of course. Like I'll debate with you. I'm not gonna downplay your argument and say your opinion's wrong or anything. Like you're free to put your opinion in chat about anything. And if I have a differing opinion, I'll tell you it. But I'm not gonna downgrade your opinion, you know. But I mentioned something related to Mr. Twister, and it got stuff heated real quick. I really disliked how he acted like I hid under the covers when it got brought up, but I took the responsibility. Well, I'm glad you took the responsibility in the end, but like overall, you probably shouldn't have done that. All right, so during this entire outbreak, we had 118 confirmed tornadoes, which ended up being the actual largest amount of tornadoes ever recorded for an outbreak in March ever. In recorded history, but you know, we'll get into some of the tornadoes here in a minute. But another thing I just want to talk about is, yeah, exactly. Mr. Twister's an amazing person. He really is. I like Mr. Twister. He's a very nice person, and I have him as one of my mods. Or honestly, didn't know the scenes behind it. Is everyone here a mod? Almost everyone. I have quite a few mods. That's why I kind of, when people say, "Can I get mod?" I'm kind of, I'm kind of like, I don't want to be mean, so I'm like, here, I'm gonna tell you why I'm not giving you mod, but like, It's not necessarily that I don't like you or I don't trust you or anything, but like I give mod to the people who, you know, have been on my channel for that long and are willing to, you know, actually do the modding procedures for me, you know? You don't need to be cool. You don't need to be sorry. Davis and me were just legitimate to each other and we're gonna go our separate ways. Alright, bet. Alright, that's it. That seals the deal. Twister seems cool. He is a cool guy. He's a very cool guy. But anyways, in this outbreak, 20 EF0s, 53 EF1s, 30 EF2s, 12 EF3s, which is a lot of EF3s. Anything from EF3 to EF5 is called an intense tornado. Anything from EF4 to EF5 is called a violent tornado. And we had 3 EF4s. My microphone turned off. It does that a lot. The OGs know that. Thank you, Price Lot. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I try my best on this channel. I try my best. Yeah, most of the mods here have been OGs. Most of them. But yeah, 3 EF4s during this outbreak is a number. Like at the beginning of this outbreak, I never expected to see that. Like I never expected that we would have 3 EF4 tornadoes during this outbreak. But I mean, that's a large number. Like, whew, it's crazy. What's up, Psy? Welcome to the stream, Psy. What's up, everybody that's coming to the stream now? We're already up to 5 likes on the stream. Goal for the stream is going to be 10 likes. We did get to 17 likes on the previous stream, so I do think that's a very achievable goal to get. Let's go ahead and hop into some of the tornadoes here and give my just overall opinions on some of them. The first tornado being the controversial Bakersfield tornado. The Gamaliel, Arkansas to Bakersfield, Frankville, Missouri tornado. So this is the Bakersfield, Missouri tornado. We'll go ahead and read the actual kind of Wikipedia article on this real quick because this is real information. I know people say, "Ooh, Wikipedia is fake." No, like, when have you ever read something fake on Wikipedia? Let's be for real. This large, long-tracked, intense tornado first touched down at 8:34 p.m. in the town of Gamaliel, Arkansas, and we can confirm that if we go to radar imagery here. You can see here's the actual. Is this the actual? No, that's Cave City. That's Franklin. Where am I going? Where am I? Where? Ah! What's up, RTWG Storm Rammer? You're back home? Welcome home, dude. Welcome home. Where was the Bakersfield tornado, chat? Where's Bakersfield? I'm so confused. It's one of these. Ah, Bakersfield. Where's the tornado report? The tornado report's not there. Okay, I guess they don't have tornado report for Bakersfield on this anymore. But we're still gonna go back on previous radar imagery and we're gonna look at this. So we're on radar Omega right now. We're looking at previous radar history of this event. So this was March 14th, 9:36. Set a touchdown about 8:34 in Gamaliel, Arkansas. So somewhere around. We'll just go back. We'll just scroll on some of the actual things here. But yeah, I mean, there's the tornado. I mean, there's one of the scans there. That's a scan from 8:55 p.m. of the Bakersfield tornado. I believe that's the Bakersfield. Yeah, I believe. Is that? Wait. Yeah. Yeah, it is the Bakersfield. Okay, so here's a scan of the Bakersfield tornado at 8:55 p.m. As you can see, it's approaching South Fork. You can see very, very intense velocities right here. This is a definitive sign of an intense velocity couplet here. Oh my gosh, he's back! Yeah, of course. You can request tornadoes and tornado outbreaks, but you'd have to request them in the Discord. Those are the ones I'll be covering on the live streams later. What's up, Weston? Perhaps sometimes I don't notice how my wording comes up virtually very harsh, but in person I would word it very differently. Oh yeah, Spanish. No, I mean he's been here for a while, but he just like we try to tell him that we can't understand him through his own language, and he still does it. But yeah, this is one of the scans from the Bakersfield tornado. You can see very strong velocities here. And if any of you don't know how to read weather radar, basically what we're looking at is high res velocity. Basically, what this is we're looking at how fast the winds are moving up inside of the storm here. So the greens and the reds show winds going against each other. So the greens are winds, going this way, going that way, going away from the radar, and then reds are going towards the radar. And then when you get, your yellows and your very bright colors in a very tight area like that, yeah, of course. Yeah, you can request tornadoes in the Discord. But when you start seeing these bright colors really close together, this indicates a very intense velocity couplet. That's what we call a velocity couplet. And that usually is indicative of a intense tornado or a strong tornado. But, we can go to high-res velocity, and we can look at that supercell. The actual, like, reflectivity and the actual structure of this storm is very impressive. Like, yeah, no, he's very clearly talking about weather. It's just he talks about it a lot. He's not spamming, but he talks about it, and we try to tell him we can't understand him. It's just a language barrier, but very impressive radar structure. Like this is a very impressive storm structure, very very large supercell. Here's your hook echo. Your tornado somewhere in here, tornado somewhere in here somewhere. Very impressive, radar imagery here. And then we can go to high res correlation coefficient. And then there is the actual debris ball from that tornado. And that, what we're looking at here is correlation coefficient right now. So this is the actual correlation coefficient from the Bakersfield tornado. As you can see, it's a very deep and very, very definitive CC drop. And basically what that is, correlation coefficient looks at the materials or stuff that's inside of the cloud or the storm cloud. And usually it's rain and hail and all sorts of just normal stuff you see in a rain cloud or just a storm in general. You'll just see rain and hail. So it comes up on correlation coefficient as these purples or pinks or stuff like that. But when you start to get a tornado or when there's a tornado on the ground, it starts ripping up trees and houses and all that. It'll actually show a different color on correlation coefficient. It'll start to show a very deep blue. It'll start to show blacks and stuff. And that's what we're seeing here near Bakersfield. That's a very, very intense tornado. And honestly, looking back at the radar imagery, it just shows how, like, look at that scan. Like, that is a deep CC drop. Like, there are pixels of dead air in there. Like, not dead air, like actually dead air, but like, there are dead pixels. Let's just call it dead pixels. And there's blacks and grays and stuff. That's just a very violent tornado. This is like 20,000 feet. Yeah, I mean, we can go up, we can look at the actual, like, I don't know how, like, this isn't very useful, but looking at 3D imagery, we can see that the debris, you can still see the debris from quite a ways up. Like, this storm was impressive. I mean, we can go on X and we can look at other stuff and just go into depth with other things as well, but we'll take a look at it. Boynton Beach potential waterspout. I'll take a look at it in a second. But yeah, so then this tornado started moving up towards South Fork. Still a very deep CC drop on this scan. And then on the next scan, it's kind of lifted, but now it's moving up past South Fork. You can see it's still there. Then it's still there near West Plains. But I think at some point it lifted near here. But we can actually, yeah, there we go. Here's one of the actual radar imagery or radar images from the site. So we can go back, look at the actual. Somebody requested a tornado on Discord. I'll get to it in a minute. I'm trying to get through all the tornadoes in the outbreak, or at least all the intense to violent tornadoes yet. Yeah, TDS debris height is generally a very good indicator, but it does have a bias on smaller storms. Exactly, like the smaller the storm, because like the high, like okay, I don't know how to explain this. I know what I'm trying to say, but like I don't have vocab. I don't have very good like vocabulary. Like it's stupid, I know, but like let's just say the storm's very big. Storm's very big. When a storm's very big, like it's very tall. Let's say like the storm's 60,000 feet tall, and you know there's a tornado ripping up uh, lots of damage and debris and stuff. It can throw debris 30,000 feet in the air, and it would still be a very violent tornado. But with like a smaller storm, why do I have to be such a nice, good, and friendly YouTuber? Why? Because I because I try to be. But like, yeah, with smaller storms, like with lower tops, it is definitely a lot. Um, it's a lot more difficult to actually. What I'm trying to say is, it has a bias on smaller storms, just like Kevin said. But you have to admit that even this tornado outbreak sequence was more intense than 2024 in general. Wait, like this tornado outbreak sequence in general was worse than 2024? No. I think I think what you're trying to say is, was April 26th through 28th worse than this tornado outbreak? Not really. I mean, April 26th through 28th had more. I mean, it had more media coverage. I mean, it happened during the day. I mean, it happened during the day. This happened at night. So I mean, this is definitely more destructive because it happened in the middle of the night with violent tornadoes. But oh yeah, for sure. Like for sure. But yeah, look at this velocity signature here. A very intense area of winds here. Our tornadoes right here, right in there somewhere. Go back on velocities here, and yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, this part of the country, when we were trying to cover it, it's in such a horrible radar hole that you'll start to see this. But this is still very indicative of a very violent tornado here. Even going back as far as like to here, like that's impressive. That's a very impressive signature near Bakersfield. Like, look at that. I have beta. I have beta, I believe. We thought that 2025 wasn't going to be 2024. Well, Mother Nature had a statement to make. I think 2025 is going to be 2025. That's a hot take, chat. That's a hot take. It's a very hot take. Let's go back to correlation coefficient because we can actually just take a look at the actual correlation coefficient. Jeez. Okay. It's so contaminated in this area from the actual tornado, and just the fact that this storm is in the worst radar hole imaginable. It made it very hard to cover this area for sure. But now we can actually take a look at, some other stuff. But it moved northeastward along AR 101 at EF1 intensity, damaging a post office, blah, 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 blah. We'll take a look at this in a little bit on damage assessment toolkit. But it began to rapidly intensify as it moved into the southern part of Bakersfield. There's a lot of actual videos of this tornado as it moved through Bakersfield. More particularly Reed Timmer's video. But do you think that we will see a high risk towards the end of April into May in the plains? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. But it does look like we will have an uptick in severe weather in late April in the plains. So I can tell you that. I can tell you that. I can tell you it looks like we have an uptick in severe weather in the next 2 weeks. I can't tell you if we're going to have a high risk or a marginal. I don't know. I can't tell you. But yes, partially destroying multiple homes and structures along County Road 585 northeast of there. The tornado snapped more trees before intensifying further to EF3 strength as it crossed Route AR on the south side of Bakersfield. One home was swept away, while one home was swept away. Like, swept away, chat. Swept away. While another one had its roof removed and some exterior walls knocked down. A large tank was lofted and thrown near the destroyed home as well. The tornado then reached its peak intensity as it turned to the east-northeast and crossed County Road 589, where a home was unroofed and had multiple exterior walls knocked down, and nearby trees were snapped and uprooted with some ground scouring noted. So this tornado had ground scouring, chat. I didn't know that. I actually did not know that. I didn't know this tornado had ground scouring. Okay, that's okay. No, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to do that in a little bit. What's good, Ian? But winds at this location were estimated to be at 145 miles per hour. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. I know that's a little low. I know people are like, let's take a look at damage. We'll take a look at the actual damage indicators, and I'll give my full opinion on everything. But reminder, I'm not an NWS damage surveyor. I am also not a construction expert, so I don't know how well built these homes are. But I can tell you if a home looks like it's well built or not, and I know what stuff looks like. But the outer circulation of the tornado also impacted Bakersfield itself, damaging more homes than the First Baptist Church, destroying the town's baseball and softball complex, and uprooting and snapping trees. We'll take a look at some of photos on Twitter because I don't really think Wikipedia does it really well, but we can just take a look at. We can look up Bakersfield. So got Bakersfield, Missouri tornado. Yeah, typically. So this is Reed Timmer's video right here. What? This is Reed Timmer's video right here of the actual tornado heading into Bakersfield. I don't know if any of you have seen this video before, but it's very blurry. It's very dark. You can't really see a lot, and Reed is like screaming throughout most of the video. But you can see he's driving into the middle of town, and there's like already kind of damage in the road. But lightning starts to illuminate the tornado. You can start to see it on the left side of your screen here. Like, let me see if I can freeze frame it. Okay, no, I wasn't want to do that. Yeah, there. You can see it kind of in there, but yeah, but dude, I mean, it's a live stream. It'll be okay. I'm not uploading this. Like, if I can, I can private the video. Like, it's okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. But yeah, this was Reed's tweet. Okay, I'll make sure not to do videos anymore. I'll make sure not to do videos anymore. Now that I realize it's probably stupid of me. But yeah, this was a picture that Reed took of the actual tornado. But you can see the tornado very clearly, not very clearly, but it's a cone. Like it's a big cone to a wedge kind of thing. And Reed even said this was the EF4 to EF5 tornado departing to the northeast from Bakersfield. It had the loudest roar of any tornado I have chased since Philadelphia EF5. Okay. Yeah, so I knew that Reed made this comment. I don't know if any of you have, but he said that this had the loudest roar since Philadelphia EF5. Okay. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay. Tornado TRX used his. He also had some pretty good video of the tornado. I think they used his thumbnail for the Wikipedia. But the fact that Reed Timmer called this an EF4 to EF5. Okay. Honestly, Reed Timmer, I mean, he has a PhD and everything, but he kind of overhypes quite a bit. Kidding. I'm kidding. Here's the actual radar imagery from it as well. This was the radar imagery from the tornado. We saw this on Radar Omega a little while ago. But you can see the debris ball and reflectivity here. That's a debris ball and reflectivity. Very strong velocities, coupled with a very deep CC drop. Yeah. You're conflicted if it deserved an EF5 rating. I haven't really taken a deep dive into that tornado. There's the actual photo from Will at Tornado TRX, but yeah, this is some of the photos Will got from it. Just crazy stuff. Oh, and the Mark Payton vlogs got into the tornado as well, so that's cool. Oh, and this is drone footage, but we'll try and look for like photos and stuff. But okay, I think we got enough. Let's go ahead and go to the actual damage assessment toolkit, and we can actually go in depth here with some of the actual stuff at it off. All right, let's do it, chat. Trey put out a video. I know it scoured a trench, but I believe that precipitation had already fell over, so it would have been easier to dig through. Yeah, for sure. But here's the actual Bakersfield tornado here. It's a very, very long track tornado. Now that you think about it, it's a very long track tornado. But there were also very many long track tornadoes throughout this day. But it started here just north of Gamaliel. Let me pull up Google Earth imagery just in case we need it. Because we might need it. We might need it, chat. But yeah, this is just north of Gamaliel, Missouri. You can see started doing damage in Gamaliel around the post office. So I mean, it was already doing damage right when it touched down, supposedly. Yeah, there's already an EF1 DI, like right here near Gamaliel. There's already an EF1 DI. And this was a tree uprooted, 94 mile per hour. Many trees uprooted and some damage to a carport and shop. Oh, they don't have any photos. Dang it. But yeah, looks like it traveled straight northeast, kind of. Did a few more damage here, over here. Satellite data shows many trees uprooted. Just so y'all know, NWO Springfield is notorious for low ball ratings. I'm not attacking the office or anything, but it's quite mind-boggling that this didn't get an EF4 at least. At least I'm very aware of that, Kevin. The tornadoes can touch down at even EF5 intensity within seconds. Smithville did. Judging by this rating for the other tornadoes in this area, that is not shocking. Yeah, for sure. I wonder if, like, I mean, I'm very, very good at finding like actual locations, but that's the picture for Gamaliel, Arkansas, bro. It's just someone's dirty Jeep. That's a nice Jeep though. I'm not gonna cap. Yeah, but it started here north of Gamaliel. When was this actual footage taken? Literally January. Okay, we'll just keep that up there for right now, but nothing to actually go over quite yet. I kind of want to, for like the more intense damage, I do want to go in depth with, but I keep clicking that. But yeah, but there is satellite imagery in this area. But would you guys really want to see satellite imagery for the EF1 damage? Like, I can go to here. Like, I can figure out where this is at. Like, there. There's just some homes over here. Wait, is this the actual area? It is. Okay, I found it. Wait, this is it, right? Yeah, this is it. Okay, but like, there's just some homes over here. There's a couple homes over here. They don't look super crazy. There's no Google Street View or anything, but there's a couple homes over here. It was doing EF1 damage for around this area, but it still kind of maintained 94 to 100 mile per hour wind speeds around this area. Tree uprooted via satellite data. Where are they getting their satellite data at? Like, bro. When? See, this is 2024. See, this satellite imagery is outdated. But it's fine. We can go up to some of the more intense damage. More EF1BIs. I'm trying to see if there's any photos of just anything, really. 105. Trunk snapped. So, I mean, it was pretty close to doing EF2 damage around this point. Near Powell Hollow. I cannot talk today. 100. Start point of tornado track on Missouri side of state line. Satellite imagery indicates an entire grove of trees uprooted in a cyclonic fashion. Cool. Sentinel satellite. How do I do that? What is Sentinel satellite? Is this it? Yo. How do I do this? No, there's not. There's not any yet. But how do I set up Sentinel? Sentinel map, maybe. I don't think this will work. How do I get this set up? Oh yeah, this isn't gonna show crap for the United States right now. There's no photos with the attachments yet, but another tree uprooted or trees uprooted. But I'm trying to take a look at it. I want to see the freaking map. I don't want to see the actual satellites. I want to see the map. Freaking Kevin over here knows how to freaking use satellite maps. Wait, maybe I'm close to it. Am I getting close, chat? Probably am. Probably am not. I probably am not, chat. I'm probably not getting close to it. I just realized I'm probably not getting close to it. Boom! Can I continue anonymous? Bruh. Give me the the area. Yeah, boy. Which one? There's so many. Yeah, I know. Can you get out of my way? Oh my god. I'm gonna crash out. Yo, I'm gonna crash out, bro. Where's it at? Is this it right here? I'm gonna crash out, bro. It doesn't show the town names. This has to be Gamaliel. No, it's not. Where is the town? Wait. Wait. I'm getting close. It's right here. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm just stupid, guys. I'm stupid. Where's the latest satellite imagery? Ooh. Yum yum. Okay, so this does show satellite data. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, here it is. Guys, we gotta take a look. Oh, this is horrible imagery, bro. What in the world? Like, hold on, wait. This is not 313. What are you talking about? Wait, maybe it is. You know what, Kevin? Can we figure this out another stream, dude? I was just planning on doing, or what the, do this stupid, whatever. I'll keep that pulled up if I want to try it out again, but this is fine. This is fine. You can go without seeing EF1 damage for a little bit. Like, you don't need to see a little grove of uprooted trees for a little bit. I know. I want to figure it out too because it's going to be more useful for me later. But okay. Then the tornado moved up into Bakersfield and started doing EF3 damage. But and this was the last EF1 damage indicator it did. Numerous trees uprooted in a cyclonic fashion. Oh, okay. Like, what do you mean anything? Like, how is there an EF0DI like all the way away from the path? What? There's an EF0DI like west of Bakersfield. How big was this tornado's wind field? This can't be, bro. There's a picture. Okay. Well, we got a tree. Chat, what do we think this tree? Do you think we think this tree is properly rated? It looks like a very well-built tree. I don't see any anchor bolts present, so I don't know. That might be a distributing factor. I don't know. This looks like simple nails and bolts and stuff. I don't know if I don't know if this is a larger wind field or not because like there's nothing else around. Like these trees are of similar size, and this is the only one that got knocked down. Like okay, I think this could just be wind damage. Like just probably either rear flank or something. Probably. I don't know. Yeah, you have to. It couldn't have been rear. Actually, yeah, it could have been. But like, I highly doubt. I highly doubt that the winds were that strong. But yeah, there's an EF2 DI here, just west or just south of Bakersfield. This is me nickname tree. The tree does have no anchor bolts, so probably EF6. Probably this is the first EF2 DI. Trunk snapped 120. It's a hardwood tree. Satellite imagery depicts trees uprooted and snapped in convergent and cyclonic pattern. Okay. Really wish we could have seen some satellite imagery here, but we can go. We can look here. We can take a peeks. So this is where it went. And actually, this is where the damage or the kind of the first EF3 damage occurred was right at the Bakersfield Church of Christ. But I think this was the actual grove of trees that got damaged. But you can see these do look like pretty strong trees, chat. Yeah, that is pretty weird. It probably is something with just, I don't know. That is really weird. I don't know how to explain that. But yeah, our first EF3 damage indicator literally came from this exact same structure, like this, I think this one right here. And that damage structure, actually, there's one right to the west of the road here. It just says, we'll just look at this one real quick. It's an EF1 DI, but uplift of roof deck and loss of significant roof covering material over 20%, collapse of chimney, garage doors, collapse inward failure, porch or carport. 197 miles per hour? What? They're my sons, of course they're strong. How is this okay? Wait a second. Okay, wait. I need to read that again. Uplift of roof deck and loss of significant roof covering material. What does that mean? Collapse of chimney, garage doors collapse inward, failure of porch or carport. Okay, is this the thing we're looking at here? This house looks like a mobile home or like a manufactured home maybe. These trees are like these trees are like debarked, like a little bit debarked, but mainly kind of untouched. Not really, you know what I mean, untouched, but like they're not really debarked really, but like branches are missing clearly. Like this is pretty strong defining tree damage. The roof's gone. This part of the house is collapsed, which I would assume this is the carport or the garage. I I don't know how this is EF1 damage. Okay, that's interesting, but I mean I understand it. It looks like EF1 damage, but like the way they worded that, like, and the fact that it's right across the street from an EF3 DI is kind of crazy to me. And the fact that this tornado was really, it wasn't like small. It wasn't like a drill bit or anything. Like, I don't know, maybe a subvort. Like, maybe it was weak at this point, and maybe, well, not weak, but you know what I mean. But like, maybe just a very strong subvortice hit this building, and it just targeted that building. Yeah, maybe. But like, I need to see what this is. Most walls collapsed except small interior rooms. 140. This is where it's going to get a little interesting, guys. This is where it's going to get a little interesting. We're going to take a look at this. Okay, what building was that again? One or two family residence. It was this building? Is this? Hey, I'm not saying you have to, but if I stay on this live for 2 more hours, can I get mod? I'm gonna say no, dude. I'm sorry, but it's gonna take a look at these photos. Whoa. Okay. This really isn't giving me a full. I mean, it's giving me a pretty big picture of the damage, but like, I need to see like stuff surrounding. But if this is the foundation of the home, this is not a very well built or like sill plates. There's no sill plates here. Like, what is this? What like one or two family residence? I supposedly think we're looking at this house right here. Maybe. But it has that labeled as the EF3DI. For the home, for the shed. Okay. For this home, That's the home. Okay, that makes sense because it's a family residence. So this is the home that got EF3 damage. It looks, I mean, it looks like a home. You can see the concrete foundation below the actual house. Um, it looks like a very old house. I will say that it looks like a very, very old house. Which could cause some flaws in construction quality. Um, there's the actual there that could be the storm shelter right there actually. But yeah, this looks like a really old house. Like that's a really old house actually, and it kind of confirms it because this foundation looks cracked. Um, not from the tornado, of course, but like just from mainly just over time, just weathering and erosion and stuff. But um, I don't know what this is. This could be like I don't really know what that is, but let's take a look at there's another photo attached to it. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, there we go. There's the above ground safe shelter you were looking at there. Yeah, and there's the actual tank thing that we were looking at here in the front yard. Yeah, and it also shows the tank thing. Um, but yeah, there's that storm shelter thing right there. Um, here's the front porch. We'll go back a little bit. We want to get a pretty big view of this thing. Um, yeah, this was not a super well built structure. I can tell you right now, because just by looking at this, this was a old home. This was a very old home. And just looking at Google Earth, this looks like an old home. It looks worn in, kind of like over here, especially. Just look at the cracks in the foundation as well. But you know, overall, I mean, I think this rating is very fair. Like for this house, especially, this rating is very fair. Um, maybe a little higher, maybe like 150 or 145 still, maybe 150. I don't really know really, but yeah, it got reduced to bits, but there is I think I have some issues with the construction quality of this house. And you can see that this tree was debarked pretty good, especially towards the base and all that other stuff. But it wasn't completely debarked, but that tree was ripped up quite a bit. But yeah, that is pretty intense damage there. I do think that is a very fair, deserving DI of EF3. Maybe a little higher, like 145 maybe, but that's what I'm thinking. But here's the second EF3 damage indicator. It's literally right across the road from where this place is at. We can take a look at it. Oh, I go right over here. Wait, which one is it? Yeah, it's right. It's literally this one right here. So this house is the one that also got another EF3 DI, but there was also another place across the road that got an EF2 DI, trunk snapped, hardwood, 130. Satellite imagery depicts trees uprooted and snapped in a convergent and cyclonic pattern. Ground scouring from satellite. I know you said you were not going to use video, but Storm Chaser Aaron Rigsby has much better footage of the damage in that area that gives a much better picture of the damage. Yeah, I'm not going to use video, but there are pictures of stuff. Like this is the second EF3 DI, and I think this may be the house. Yeah, this is the house with the 145. All right, chat. Let's take a look at this, chat. Most walls collapse except small interior rooms. Um, corridor of most intense damage with multiple walls collapse. There's 4 images here. We can go on Google Earth and we can look at this house. What can you do? It looks like it's on top of a hill. Oh, there's a doggy. Oh, there's a puppy. Oh, there's a puppy. There's a puppy outside. Honestly, it looks like it's a brick home, but like, it looks, I mean, the foundation isn't visible, which is good. It means the foundation's kind of below the actual ground here. The roof is kind of built out of the same materials like shed roof, but I mean the roof kind of looks a little wonky, but overall it looks like a pretty neat house, honestly. Um, pretty. I mean, it looks well built to me. I can't really tell, but we can take a look at the imagery here, and yeah, it's a brick home for sure. Like without a doubt, bricks ripped off. You can see cracks in the bricks here. There's actually quite a few cracks in the bricks. Um, wow, actually, that's intense damage. Um, okay, what else? Did not mean to zoom into the sky there. Um, second image. Here we go. Wow, I think this is actually the front of the actual house. The front of the house is gone. Like there's no wall standing in the front of the house except for like this portion here. That is pretty intense damage. Look at the tree in the back. That is one of those trees in the back there. Like one of those ones. That's that got stripped and debarked. It looks like this house looks like it got battered pretty good. Um, ooh, yeah, nails visible. We got some nails here, but ooh, nails. There's no anchor bolts actually. Wait, that's a little concerning. There's no anchor bolts or anything. There's no washers or anything on like there's just nails. There's a nail visible there. That's kind of puts issues with construction quality, I guess. But I can't really tell you. I'm not an NWS damage surveyor. There we go. That's better. But um, it looks like we have washers there, but it looks like the actual bolts are super rusted, and I don't know how really well they're. And they kind of look. They don't look that um. They don't look that tight. Like this is not tight. There's some bent in the back over there, but overall, I mean, this is intense damage. I can't be like, man, I can't tell you, man. There's more EF3 DIs to look at, so I need to do some more research before I can conclude my final decision with that one, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so after that, it did two more or three more actually, I should say, three more EF3 damage indicators up here. I can probably find that pretty easily on Google Earth Imagery. This was the home. This was the 145. This was the 145 one. This was the one that warranted the 145 rating. Bolts look really iffy. Washers are kind of not on really that well. I mean, yeah, but like, okay. My main issue is like how like these do not look filled in all the way. If you know what I mean. Like these don't look tight. You know, they look loose. Ooh. But yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, pretty good job rating this house. I mean, I'd still probably rate it on the higher end scale of EF3 damage, probably. I still don't know how this is low end EF3 damage. I'd probably rate this at high end EF3 personally, this little area right here, but okay, let's go over to the next damage spot. Right on over here. Wait, was this one right over here? Like literally right, yeah, right here. Yeah, so there's two homes here. Or it looks like there's a home here. It looks like there's a home here. There's a home here. I'm stupid, chat. Okay, we're not going to be able to view that home. I mean, on satellite we can, or satellite from the top we can. But yeah, there's two damage indicators, EF3 damage indicators here. Most walls collapsed except small interior rooms, 140. Mobile on blocks. What? Mobile on blocks rolled. Oh, it's a mobile home. Mobile on blocks rolled. Okay, I'm assuming that's that. The mobile home. Well, it looks like there's a couple mobile homes here, but okay. Um, I really wish they would have. If it was on the blocks and if it was on blocks and it was rolled, take a picture of the blocks, please. Like, make us see the blocks. I can't see them. But this does look like intense damage. Like, is that a car or like some sort of vehicle? It looks like a little ATV or something. This overall just looks like a bunch of gunk, honestly. I mean, it's still intense damage, but like it's just a bunch of like I can't really tell you what I'm looking at. There's another one literally right here. Most walls collapsed except small interior rooms. 140. House swept to foundation. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be a weird one, chat. This is gonna be the home. This is gonna be the home that they're saying is swept to the foundation. I'm guaranteeing you. The fact that they're rating this 140 and they're commenting. Wait. Most walls collapsed except small interior rooms. House swept to foundation. What do you mean? This is not right. The house was swept to the foundation. Say the house was swept to the foundation. Don't just lie on the actual damage report. That's weird. Okay, we have 4 images here. Okay, just trees. A little bit of tree debarking here. Yeah. Seems like pretty violent or pretty intense damage. Intense to violent tree debarking there. What about this? Whoa, okay. Okay. This is a lot more intense. What is this thing? Like, is this a giant sea urchin on land? What is this thing? There's just a big old thing poking out here. What is that thing? I'm assuming that's like a little plant or a tree maybe, and it just got debarked and ripped. There's a little tree back here that got bent and ripped and shredded, kind of. You can see the home in the back there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's ground scouring too. You can see the ground scouring too. One of those homes were built in 1970. Yeah, that can cause a little bit of construction issue. I think it's a bush. Yeah, it probably is. But like, if that's a bush, that bush got shredded, and that's impressive damage. But yeah, there's a little bit of ground scouring here. I mean, you can see it. There's ground scouring here. Ground scouring in the back too. Like, all right, let's actually take a look at the damage. All right, picture of the foundation, chat. Sill plates. We love sill plates. We gotta take a look at these sill plates because we don't. We just gotta take a look at them. There's nothing in them. They're like, wait, are these just held down by like little strips here? Like where? Wait, is this a sill? Yeah, this is a sill plate, but it's gone. Like almost all of it's gone. Wait, this is not. No, it got a rating. This is rated 140. This is an EF3. Whoa, I realized that in the back. I don't know what that is, but it's a big metal thing and it got thrown. Uh, um, yeah, but this looks. I mean, this looks iffy to me. I mean, this looks like iffy construction quality, chat. To me, it does. To me, it does. I don't see any anchor bolts, chat. Yeah, like what are we doing, bro? Like what? What? I mean, yeah, okay, at least the washer in the actual nut is on it, but the actual sill plate is not really tied on really well. And some of these are just kind of really um I mean there's a lot visible here. There's a lot of them visible. But I do agree that it's like at some extent this is pretty lousy construction, but like I mean this is bolted down pretty good, I would say. But I think the main problem is here is that the nails are too thin. Like the actual bolts are too thin. So I don't know how they would take that into effect there, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I would feel about that one, but you can take a look on. I mean, that's what this home looked like before. I can't tell you what that home looked like on Street View or anything, but and then the last or one of the one of the last actual EF3DIs from this tornado was right across the road actually, and it was most walls collapsed except small interior rooms 140. It was right across the road. I'm assuming if it was right across the road, it's probably this little place right here. Yeah, that home probably. This home right here, this little home right here, is also another one that got a damage indicator right here. This looks like an old house. This looks like a very old house. Oh yeah, we're in the boondocks, boys. This is the Missouri boondocks. Don't know how well the construction of this house is. Probably it's a very old house. I'd probably say it's not very well. You can see the foundation through the house. It's not. It's a very small house. Um, kind of looks like the house already sustained tornado damage. Honestly, how is this? Okay, I want to see what the actual damage looks like on this place. 140. Right. Reminder. This is 140. Okay. Um. Yeah. Walls are just gone. Like the walls are gone. I mean, the actual inside of the house doesn't look too bad. I mean, wooden floors and stuff, but like it's a pure concrete floor. Don't know how well the actual construction is. I need to see the actual foundation of it, but we're off to a good start so far with that house. The home south of that home and west of the swept clean home. We can talk. Hold on, we'll figure it out in a minute. Here, we can actually see the foundation a little bit through there. Looks a little cracked. I don't know if that's from the tornado or just from other stuff, but I mean, this tornado kind of screwed up this house a little bit. Oh, I think this might have just been like the little porch area here that got impacted here. That's what that's what I'm assuming. East of this, yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I saw too. Here's the third image. Ooh, we love seeing up close photos of bent anchor bolts. These are not. Like, look at the sill plates. They look worn away. These look super aged and not really. Like, just take a look at these bolts. Like, these are super rusted. They're super old. They look like they're not really in the actual plate. Like, this one's not even in the plate, bro. This is not even in the plate. Yeah, this is not good construction. Like, um, it also just looks like a very like old home. You know, it looks like a very old house. Yeah, look, this is the the freaking washer's halfway up, bro. Like, yeah, I agree with the NWS. Honestly, like, okay, now that I look at it, wait, actually, okay, hold on. I will figure that out. Oh, this is Paducah, Kentucky. Wait, what? The KMZ or the KML? Am I supposed to download the KMZ file or the KML file? NWS Springfield. Okay, wait. I'm back. Can you be mod? Unfortunately, not able. I'm so sorry. You'll be right back. All right. See you in a little bit, Sam. Help! Help! Kevin, is it the one on Paducah? Is it the one on Paducah, Kentucky? Erg. Erg. Whoa, where? Where? Where's the actual downloadable file? Additional information. Yeah, where's the additional information at? Yeah. Boom. Oh, there we go. I found it. How do I open it? Er, 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 er. How do I do that? How do I do that? I don't know how to do that, man. How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. Can you let me? Can you help me, Kevin? Can you help me? You're back at 60 and sunny outside. That's a W. What do you mean? Mess around with a few things on Google Earth. Ah! Help! Help! Open. Okay, wait. This will work. Yes. Yes! Boom, 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 boom! We got it. Chat. Yay. Oh, chat. Told you it was this house that got an EF3DI. I'm such a big boy now. I'm a big kid now. Anyways, that's the tornado chat. It's a tornado. But anyways, let's look at the other path. There's some of the other DIs here. But after that, it did that damage, and then it went up towards. But then it did EF1 damage right here at this little house or tree thing. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I'm glad I figured that out. Satellite imagery depicts trees uprooted in convergent and cyclonic pattern. Visible structural damage from satellite. Bro, go survey it. Stop being a wiener. This is right on the path of the tornado. Trees uprooted. This was quite a ways away from the actual path. Multiple trees uprooted. Thunderstorm wind. What? How is this? How so far away from the actual tornado path? I highly doubt, maybe, but I highly doubt that this was associated with the tornado. Maybe. 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 What's up, OTTK? Welcome to the stream. What's up? What's up, bro? What's up? Can I click on this? Hello? Can I click on the actual damage indicator? There's not an ew. Okay. Welcome back, Sam. Guess what I figured out? I'm such a G, man. Look at this house. This house got EF2 damage. There's a photo, dude. Complete destruction of unit, debris blown away. This looks like a manufactured home. 130. Here's a photo of it. Chat. The sky. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. So here's one of the final kind of damage indicators along the Bakersfield tornado's path. This looks like a manufactured mobile home got blown apart. Can't really analyze that, really, but yeah. I'll let you guys look at that for a second. Yeah, blown apart. There's also another EF1 damage indicator right here. There's also another EF2 damage indicator like right up the road as well. Large sections of roof structure removed. Most walls remain standing. Several residences with large sections of roof remodeled and some evidence of collapsed wall. And that's 122. Okay. Is there an actual picture of that, though? Like, is there an actual picture of that damage? Nearby tree damage has trunk snapped halfway up. Some outbuildings near the residences are still standing. What? That's pretty nuts, man. That's pretty nuts. That's actually pretty crazy. Trees uprooted. Satellite imagery depicts trees uprooted in convergent pattern. Visible structural damage. Mesa just higher winds. One unit of the KML fire. I probably need to do some more too, bro. I need to do some more too. But I need to go to a storm spotter training here in a little bit. Whoa. Start of occlusion process with 2 TDSs splitting on radar imagery. This point follows a convergent line of the. But yeah. Sorry about that, chat. My thing turned off. My mic turns off a lot. But then this one is near the Campbell Ranch Airport, like just northeast of it. Small barn or farm outbuilding. Total destruction of building. 125. Old milk barn with cinder block as base. I need to read that. Old milk barn with cinder block as base. Blocks were attached with mortar and likely collapsed as roof was uplifted. Most blocks fell inward with some blocks displaced downstream up to 20 yards. That's a lot of blocks, dude. It's a lot of blocks. But yeah, I mean this thing is collapsed for sure. Go back to the image. Yeah, it's just concrete blocks, dude. It's just cinder blocks. I mean, it's a pretty big foundation, though. Like, it's a pretty large foundation. Large branches broken, 1 to 3 inches in diameter. Some loss of metal panels on outbuildings with some roof deck loss on residents. Trees out front have large limbs snapped off. Dang. Okay. That's EF0 damage. We confirm that? 80. Something of the sorts. A small barn or farm outbuilding, major loss of roof panels, 90. We'll take a peek at it. Take a peek at the image. Is that it? We're looking at a mailbox, bro. Are we looking at the trees or we're looking at the actual building? Is that the building back there that lost its roof? I'm assuming it is. Back there, that's the building. Assuming it is, chat. And here's the other, or one of the last kind of EF2 DIs along the path. Really close to kind of the core of the tornado. Manufactured home, single wide, undercarriage separates from unit, rolls, tumbles, and is badly bent. Whoa. Manufactured home or trailer blown away from cinder block foundation, limbs and trunks snapped in the vicinity. Everyone subscribe or you have to sleep with one eye open. Thank you a lot, Price a lot. I think, oh, what did I actually say? Thanks a lot, Price a lot. Thank you so much, dude. I'm pinning that OTTK. I'm pinning that, dude. Here's an actual picture of the damage, or the EF2 damage. Yeah. Pretty intense damage, chat. Pretty intense damage. Right there. And then we'll go to, like, later down the path, because we're getting close to the actual end of the path, of the actual tornado. These are just mainly EF1 DIs now. I'm not going to actually care, or I'm not going to actually do it, or what am I trying to say? I'm not going to care to look at all of these EF1 DIs, but I will look at the last EF2 DI right here, because this is important. 1 or 2 family residents, large sections of roof structure removed, most walls remain standing. 122. We'll take a look at that last little thing near south of West Plains. Half section of roof removed with paneling, walls collapses, evidenced by standing bookshelf, and other half of building with siding. Some wood roof beams still intact with brick walls unscathed. And there is a picture. Ooh. I mean, that's intense. I mean, I'm gonna remove that. I hope you realize why. Um, I'm gonna remove that message. I hope you realize why. My day's been great today, OTTK. How's your day been, dude? How has your day been, dude? Here's the last actual EF0 DI. Right at the end of the path. Okay, I mean that's the end of it. That's the actual Bakersfield tornado. Do I think it was fairly rated? Yeah. Um, honestly, now that I look back at it, because like a lot of people during the actual during the outbreak were like, "Oh my gosh, this has to be EF4, right?" I don't like taking a look at all the damage and putting together all of the imagery. I don't necessarily think so. I think this was probably still an EF3 to. I mean, this was probably still a low end EF3 to a high end EF3. I think this should be more along the realms of a high end EF3 at least, probably 160 to 165 miles per hour, somewhere around that range. Because with a lot of these homes, they did have quite a uh, they did they were quite well built. I mean, this one right here in particular, this one looked well built and got an EF3 damage indicator. That's why I questioned that because that's just my opinion on these damage indicators here. But do I think it's necessarily fair that this got rated the way it did? I mean, I'm not the NWS, so whatever they rate, I'll take. But a lot of people were like, "This is unfair rating," But honestly, I mean, this is very fair now that I look back on it because, I mean, honestly, this tornado probably had wind speeds over 145 miles per hour. I will most likely tell you that this tornado had violent wind speeds, um, probably above 170 mile per hour winds. Was it capable of doing violent damage? Yes. Did it? Yes, indeed. But I think it should have stayed in the realm of high end EF3, somewhere around there, just high end EF3. Um, Now just taking a look at back of all the stuff. Yeah, I mean high end EF3 to low end EF4. What's good, Mr. Twister? Yeah, I mean low end EF or high end EF3 to low end EF4 is probably where I'd put the Bakersfield tornado at right now. I mean, with a lot of these homes, they do look well built, and anchor bolts are present, and a lot of the walls, like this at this house in particular, like walls. I mean, a lot of the foundation was missing. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'd rate the Bakersfield Tornado high end EF3 with winds of 165 miles per hour. Final rating with my system, 165 miles per hour. So I'll give it an up boost of 15 miles per hour. Wait, yeah, 15. But anyways, let's go on to the next tornado. That was a pretty what am I trying to say? Blah, 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 blah. That was a pretty. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say it's on to my tongue. That was a pretty controversial one. I think its rating is reasonable, but I'm here to give my opinion on damage indicators and stuff like that, and just taking in contextual footage and all that other stuff, and footage as well, because that also plays a role in stuff like that as well. But I'm just giving my opinion on what I think it should have been rated. But next tornado is going to be the Brandsville to Rover to Fremont to Ellington tornado. This intense high-end EF3 tornado began near Rover, pushing homes off their foundations and tearing roofs off others, then moved through forested areas, collapsing high-voltage transmission poles and collapsing high-voltage transmission poles and uprooting thousands of trees as seen in satellite imagery. It continued through the southeastern corner of Shannon County and into Carter County, where widespread tree damage occurred, including snapped and debarked trees, and a steel trailer was lofted several hundred yards. A tornado emergency was issued for Fremont and Van Buren as the tornado approached. Several homes were completely destroyed near Fremont, and more tree damage occurred as the tornado moved northeast. It eventually lifted in southern Reynolds County after continuing to uproot trees along its path. Let's take a look at the actual damage indicator, or the damage path of this now. If I spoke, we'd go on days slow, but to put it simple, I respectfully disagree. Let's argue. Why do you think the Bakersfield tornado yeah, but so what were you trying to argue about? Like, what are you trying to, I'm not trying to, like, we're having a little debate. But, like, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not mad at this, by the way. We're just having a debate. I love debating with people. It's fun. It's really fun. I'm just confused what you're debating about. Are you debating about the actual rating of the tornado? Are you debating about, because I said that they didn't take contextuals into account, and that I do. It's fine, Price a lot. It's alright, bro. We're looking at the this one. Yeah, we're looking at this one. Wait, is it this one? Yeah. The Brandsville to Fremont tornado. But I want to know, why do you disagree? I mean, like, I said it was a violent tornado. Like, I said it was a very high-end, intense to violent tornado. No, I agree either, but I agree too, because, like, but you also got to take into account that a lot of the homes in this area are not super well built. Like, this is the boonies of Missouri. Like, this is the boonies. So a lot of these homes are going to be very old and very worn in homes. Like, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Kevin. I'm talking to Kevin in chat. No, you're not disagreeing. I'm talking to Kevin. I'm just giving my opinion on stuff. Like, I think the tornado is, like, I think it was sort of fairly rated, but I think it should have been rated higher. Like, I do think it was a very violent tornado, and I think that based off of contextual footage and evidence and stuff like videos and images and radar, based off of radar imagery and stuff like that, I can tell you right now it's a violent tornado. And taking a look through all the damage indicators, I can tell you right now that a lot of these homes were not well built. And you can say that these surveys were done lazily, and they might have been. But also, you have to realize that there were also tens of dozens of other intense tornadoes that happened this day that NWS Springfield had to survey. So I can understand why they would, try and take their time with stuff, but I can understand why they would want to kind of rush through it either. I'm going off of the main EF scale. So this is gonna upset a lot of people, but I don't agree with the EF scale. In a lot of ways, I don't agree with the EF scale. But I also respect it to the point where I have to take into account the actual EF scale, and I have to respect it, and I have to do it, or I have to actually look at like stuff because that's what's on the damage assessment toolkit. You know, they don't put videos or images of the actual tornado on the damage assessment toolkit. You know what I'm trying to say? If they did, maybe it'd be a little cleaner, but it's not damage. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, but also back in the day with the old F scale, they barely had any contextual evidence. They had barely any footage of these tornadoes. So they were going off of eyewitness account saying that there was a large violent tornado on the ground. And then you had to get your weird little camera out of your little drawer. You had to, go outside and record it. And then you would do research into figuring out how fast the wind speeds of the tornado actually were. And then you would determine the rating from the wind speeds. That's how the old F scale worked. But nowadays, it's not. It's not. The EF scale is so. It's honestly. I mean, okay. I don't have a problem with it. I don't, because I've grown used to it, sort of like the entire. Like I've grown used to it. I've grown used to the flaws and stuff like that. But I do think that every once in a while, um, some areas of the EF scale do get kind of not necessarily abused, but you know, you know what I'm trying to say. It just gets underplayed, I guess. What's up, Gooseman? Welcome back. I don't think. Okay. Thinking this could have been a 190 1 mile. You thinking Bakersfield could have been a 190-mile-per-hour tornado is completely fine with you. The thing is, we had nothing out here to measure the wind speeds. No Doppler, no actual weather station, no mesonet, nothing out here to measure the wind speeds of the tornado except for damage indicators. Most of the damage indicators from this tornado were in the core. Was this at peak intensity though? That's what you have to put into account. Was this tornado at peak intensity when it entered into Bakersfield? Nothing really. I'm just going over previous tornado tracks, and I'm giving my opinion on some of the ratings and why I think it may be a little unfair that the tornadoes got rated this way. But right now, nothing's going on with the weather really. Like this is old radar imagery. This is old radar imagery. But nothing's going on with the weather right now. Melody, thank you for asking. Took you longer than an hour. You're good, man. You're good. But like as I was saying, was it at peak intensity when it entered Bakersfield? Probably not. I'm telling you right now, maybe not. Maybe like it could have been at peak intensity here, like right here before it entered Bakersfield. We don't know. Like there's EF1 DIs here, but like in this stretch, it could have done an EF4 damage indicator. Like there could have been a little home, like this home right here could have been EF4 damage, but they didn't see it, But we don't know, man. That's how weird tornado paths are. They don't happen really. Welcome back, Sam. It's really hard to. Okay, Kevin, I'm gonna point you out on something, man. You're okay. I'm not talking bad about you. Okay, I'm kind of pointing out your flaws in your argument. I'm just saying that you're going off of you're going off of I think so versus it's facts. It's guaranteed. Like we don't know what the actual wind speeds of Bakersfield was. Like it's definitely a violent tornado. It had violent wind speeds for sure. But all right, see you later, dude. See you later, Mr. Twister. Let's hit 1K, dude. Yeah, I need to hit 1K. That's a sweet goal. But I'm not trying to talk bad or talk down onto you, Kevin. Like, I'm not mad at you or anything. I'm just having a friendly debate. But, like, I say it with a lot of tornadoes. Like, I think this tornado had EF5 wind speeds. Like, but I have no way to prove that, do I? I can show people videos like, oh my god, listen to the roar. Look at the horizontal vortices. Look at the ground scouring. Look at the actual uh, cycloidal marks in the ground. Look at the actual. Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, now that you did mention that, okay, now I know. Okay, what was the main question? Like, was the main question being that the office didn't take contextuals into account, like that the actual NWS office should take contextuals into account? Sam, Sam, we're not having a bad argument. This is just a friendly debate. Nothing bad is happening. Like, me and Kevin are fine. I love debating with people about stuff, especially stuff that I am passionate about. I just don't know if your question was like, what do you mean it's possible? Like, it's possible that the office didn't take contextuals into account? Okay. No, you're good, Sam. We're good. Yes, they are very important, but guess what? One of the more kind of irritating things, I think, um, with the EF scale happened with the Greenfield tornado a year back. Doppler on wheels actually record. No, that's your opinion, and I'm not gonna talk bad about your opinion. Like, you can say that, oh, Bakersfield, I think, had 200-mile-per-hour winds, and I'm gonna say, okay, that's your opinion. Like, I don't like. I'll tell you what I think it had, but I'm not necessarily a I think that this tornado had kind of guy. I'm kind of I go off of, honestly, like, I wait for I mean, I have a general idea, but, like, I wait for dead hard evidence. Like, I wait for, like, either, like, a Doppler on wheels report or something. But, they don't really do that often, which sucks. They should do it way more often. But as I was saying, with the Greenfield tornado, um, Doppler on wheels recorded 318-mile-per-hour winds, like, a little bit above the surface, or, like, really close to the surface. Don't know. But here's the thing. When rating the Greenfield tornado, I don't think it was an EF5. Don't think it was an EF5. But with the old F scale, definitely an F5. Definitely an F5. But also, I don't think Greenfield was at its peak strength when it went into town. I think it was at its peak strength right before entering town. If it was at its peak strength when it entered town, we would definitely see EF5 damage. I'm sure about that. But I don't know, man. It's hard to talk about. It's a really tough topic because the EF scale is so. I mean, it's such a really controversial topic. You know, not controversial to the point where like I'm gonna hurt you over it, but like I respect the EF scale. I respect people who go out and yeah, but that's not damage. That's not necessarily damage. See, this is where me and you can argue about this. That's not necessarily damage. You know, that's not necessarily damage. It's just a recorded wind gust. It's a recorded wind gust, not necessarily a picture of damage or any mention of damage. It's just a recorded wind gust of 151 miles per hour. Yes, it's intense wind speeds, very intense wind speeds. But guess what? There could have been nothing out there except for, like, I don't know. Like, when going out there and surveying, like, I don't know what that EF1DI says, but it could be just like a something. I don't know. But no, I agree. But construction, but the EF scale, okay, you guys have to realize at some point that the EF scale goes off of damage, like damage to structures and damage to things, you know? It doesn't really go off of wind speeds. I mean, they determine the wind speeds based off of the damage, you know? I mean, okay, but like I can I can disagree because I can say that okay, so say an EF5 tornado hits in the middle of field, in the middle of a field, hits in the middle of nowhere. It hits nothing except for a little house right on the edge of its wind field. And that house only gets EF1 damage. They're going to rate that house as such, and they're going to rate it at EF1 damage. And do you know why that is? Is because that's observable damage. That's damage to a structure. Now, I think that the EF scale should take into effect ground scouring for sure. Like, they should probably figure out some sort of, I don't know, contextual thing for ground scouring. Just figure out something for ground scouring because that would make it a lot easier to figure out the strength of violent tornadoes. Just go out into the middle of a field and survey the ground. Like, I know violent tornadoes can do ground scouring. Just look at the ground. And I know you guys at the NWS are smart enough to determine how fast the wind speeds are capable to be to rip up the frickin' ground. You know? It has many problems. I can agree. I can agree. But I have learned to live with it. You know? I mean, I have my flaws with it, but let's say if the EF scale got updated tomorrow, I would be ecstatic. I would be ecstatic. But if it never got upgraded, I would be fine with it. You know? Because, like, in the end, who's really going to care? You know? Like, it's just, like, no, for sure. I do agree. Contextuals in Bakersfield point to a violent tornado. Like, with the Reed Timmer video, with the actual lean of the tornado, like the tornado was leaning as it entered the town, kind of like this, sort of, shows like just how violent the tornado was. And plus, he says that the roar was the loudest one he's heard since Philadelphia. But it's more like they nitpick what the tornado didn't do than what it did do. Yeah, but also, like, if they really went into detail with everything the tornado hit on these damage indicator paths, there would be thousands of little DIs along this path. That would take forever to survey. Like, if they went through and they surveyed every little thing, and they did everything that you guys wanted to. Do you know how long it would take them to actually finish a survey? Like, it would take forever for them to finish a single survey if they really went into count with everything, contextuals, actual surveys, or actual damage indicators. If they took actual contextuals into um, or into consideration and stuff like that. Yeah. It's not that I'm asking for the entire house to be properly examined, but it's more like an undermining scale. I mean, in terms of its most impressive indicators at that house. But yeah, I agree. Let's get back to this thing, because I was wanting to go through at least a couple more tornado paths, or at least this one more tornado path before I have to go to my storm spotter training. Okay. What? Like, what do you mean they weren't rated EF5? Like, weren't rated EF5 like they shouldn't be rated EF5 anymore? Like they should be downgraded, or like, because that's a whole different conversation. Like, if you want to talk about that, we can talk about that. But like, we can all agree that the tornadoes that had EF5 damage weren't rated EF5. I can give you one example straight off of my head that I literally read today that is a literal EF5 indicator and would be an EF5 indicator for every tornado. The El Reno Piedmont tornado picked up a 2 million pound oil rig and tossed it, dude. There are literally zero to very little amount of tornadoes that have the amount of strength to pick up that heavy of machinery and actually do damage to it, you know? That, the El Reno Piedmont tornado, deserves to be an EF5 just because of that. Just because of that, DI. Like, just because of that. Just because of that. Just because it picked up a 2 million pound oil rig and it threw it. Just because of that. Rolling Fork should be an EF5. See, that's where, okay. Oh, God, chat, we're getting into a different area, but, you know, we can do this. We can do this. You know, we can do this, chat. We can do this. Let's go to March 24th. Was it March 24th, chat? You know, we can do this. We can have this chat because this is completely fine with me. Let's go to Rolling Fork and let's look at the DIs. And I'm gonna give you no. You're fine. You're fine. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. See, this is what we call a full damage survey. This is a big, good damage survey. They literally went through everything. In the town of Rolling Fork, they went through everything. The first extent of violent, or let's just say the first extent of intense tornado damage was at this point. Okay. Trees debarked with only stubs of largest branches remaining. There's no attachments. We'll just go through all the photos, but here's a picture here. Okay, this is a little weird because I only thought never mind. That is a good survey. It's a very good survey. Trees debarked with only stubs of largest branches remaining. Hardwood tree. Tree with root ball removed from original location. Large pieces of several trees tossed in the field. I really wish they had a picture of this because this is the first actual EF4 DI. 167. Okay, Buster. And then along this road, let's go on Google Earth. Let's go on Google Earth. What was that? My headphone just made a sound. That was weird. My headphone just made a sound. No, it's not a storm chasing training. It's a storm spotter training. It's okay. I'll be fine. We can talk about this for like 10 more minutes. You went back. You went to McDonald's. W. Was this Pink? Where's Pinkins Road, chat? Whoa. I think this might be Pinkins Road. Okay. I really think getting an EF4 rating on a tree is kind of iffy to me. But really, in the end, who cares? I'm not that person to talk about it with. Okay, so so this is historical imagery on Google Earth. We can see these are mobile homes. Most of these are mobile homes. Some of these are, you know, uh, 1 to 2 family residences. They look, I'm assuming these aren't super well built homes, you know. Most of them have not been rebuilt. Well, actually, all of them are gone. Like, all of them are gone. Just the difference between satellite picture imagery shows how significant the damage was on this side of town. I mean, go to damage indicator. They literally surveyed every home along this street. That is a very good survey. Complete destruction of unit, debris blows away, manufactured home, double wide. Complete destruction of unit, debris blows away, undercarriage tossed south across road. Let's look at this photo. Yeah, I mean, the entire actual mobile home is tossed. It looks like it was on cinder blocks, but the actual foundation is gone. So yes, definite EF3 damage. Definitive EF3 damage. Here's another EF4 DI, or let's go to the EF3 DI first. Let's go to this one. Trees debarked with only stubs of largest branches remaining. Vehicle tossed against tree with some debarking. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is 143. Tornado that landed near your home. Maybe. I mean, this looks like a hardwood tree, and it's debarked, not entirely, but chat. I mean, that car is totaled. What is that? I don't even know what that is. But like, it looks like a very nice car. It's totaled though. It's tossed against its tree. What in the world, chat? I wasn't even supposed to be looking at actual Rolling Forks DIs, but I guess we are now. And we're now on the topic of Rolling Forks should have been EF5. 1 or 2 family residents, all walls collapsed. All walls collapsed. 170. Here's the first actual DI inside of Rolling Fork. No, yeah, of course. I can have my doubts. I can have my doubts, dude. I can have my doubts, okay? You can't say, I can't deny if it was an EF5, because I can have my doubts, but I'll tell you why I say that here in a little bit. The reason why this home right here, 170, mainly because if you take a look at previous imagery, this home is actually one of the ones we see right here. This one actually right here is the actual home that got that EF4 DI. The thing is, okay, that's gonna upset a lot of people, but I'm allowed to have opinions, guys. You can see there's nails. You can see nails popping out of the floor here. This looks like a metal floorboard. I mean, it looks like a metal floorboard. That tree in the back is shredded completely, debarked and shredded. Looks like a brick foundation kind of over here as well. Maybe some debris granulation going on over here as well. Cars kind of. I mean, you guys are allowed to have that opinion for sure, but I mean, I'm allowed to have my doubts as well, and I'll tell you here in a little bit. But I also just think that this home, I don't really know. I really wish they had another photo of it, but I think that's the only photo they had of the actual damage. But there was just another EF4DI over here as well, and that was a tree debarked with only stub of largest branches remaining, 167. Yeah, bro. Like, this is crazy damage. Like, don't get me wrong. This is unreal. Like, super violent damage. Look at this tree debarked back here. There's little, like, what are those? Bed sheets or something? I don't even know what those are. Look at this sign. Like, look at this brick little thing right here. I mean, you see this. This tree is gone. This tree is gone. This tree is gone. You can see some beat up cars in the back over here. There's metal wrapped all around this tree, but yeah. What? Yeah, hold on, child. I'll be right back. I'm back for a little bit, chat. Yeah, I did see that paint kind of ripped off the sign here. That's pretty violent, chat. It's pretty violent. Put it on Discord, you did. Wonder what people are saying on the Discord. I'm trying to learn if I should dress up for the actual training. But Levi is not getting back to me. Little Levi. What in the world? Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Okay, chat. Let's get back to this for like a couple more DIs. But yeah, I mean, this is the highest a rating for a tree can go, and I can understand why. But I also think that trees should have EF5 damage indicators because I feel like it would be more fair. I guess I don't really know for sure, but I can understand why they have limitations on that. Let's go back to. There's two more up here. These are homes. Or there's a home here. All walls collapsed. 170. Brick and block home destroyed. Brick and block home destroyed. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is brick foundation ripped almost down to the foundation. Storm spotter training. I'm going to do training for storm spotter certification for Skywarn. At least I think it's for Skywarn. But yeah, look at that chat. Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, the brick home is collapsed. I can't really tell you anything else, but I'm trying to hurry. Let's get done with this DI, and then I will go to my Storm Spotter training, and then I will end stream for a little bit, and I'll let you guys know in a little bit. In a little bit. Whoa. All right, chat. I'm gonna end stream. Thank you guys for tuning in while you could. I'm gonna go do my training now. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'll probably come back and do another chill stream. Probably. We'll probably finish our talk about Rolling Fork and other stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in while you guys could. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to my Storm Spotter training right now. See you guys later.